I have cone 6 as normal, 25 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's about 7 degrees below cone 6, with a 15-minute soak at peak temperature, then a sort of slow cool, 175 an hour, down to 1750 with another half an hour, 40-minute soak. So here's the result. But there are sets, so I don't need to show you every piece. Here is the Tenmiku Gold with the actual variegated blue and the oatmeal, pretty standard, but this was the slow cool. See, from the last firing you didn't get the gold speckles because it cooled too fast, so we're getting them in this firing. And I actually realized that when I programmed it at 9999 degrees, it was aiming it to cool it too fast, too slow rather, so that's why it cut off in the other kiln. So I just put it to cool it like 350 degrees an hour from peak temperature down to 2000, and then cooled it 175 after that. And the reason for that is you don't want glazes to run on a slow cool, because they can continue to run for a while. It's like giving a soak with a very slow cool. But so about 350, 400 down from 2225 down to 2000, and then I got 175 cooling at that point, and it's perfect. Good results, you know, really nice results actually. Bright blue Tenmiku Golden Oatmeal, and I have 4 of these. The stilt collapsed in that one, but I'd wiped the bottom, so that was lucky. And I didn't stilt fire a lot of them, but I do sometimes if the foot is a little bit shallow or I don't want to wipe the foot off, which I did in that one anyway. But so what else do we have here? So we have some apple green and matte, no, not matte, apple green and purple, with a little oatmeal probably on the rim, but that's a color I've not done before, so that's what it looks like. I've got so many color variations, it's hard to remember what I've done and what I haven't done. It's all in my head. Same again. A lady wanted some small soup bowls, as I said in the other kiln unloading. So these are quite small serving sizes. But if you're getting soup before a meal, you don't want to have a large portion anyway. There was chattering on the rims of all of these, but the glaze has covered it up. So, oh, I've got a grinding to do. They still collapsed a bit on that one too, so I have to grind that one. And then the blue-green copper red, which the chattering did show on the blue-green copper red. So it's apple green with blue-green copper red, and they're all sets of 4. So we got all of these as well. There you go. And this one was one of the bowls from the Make Your Pots Better video that I just recently posted. And so it has that nice foot from that tool, which was made by Bill Wright. But notice I didn't do a stilt on this one, and it has matted out on the bottom where it just barely touched the kiln shelf. So I'll just sand that lightly and that'll get rid of that. But because I had it sitting on the foot, but basically the bottom was a little low in that one. I should have realized that before I put it in. Okay, the next layer down is some similar pieces. So Tenmiku Gold over bright blue and then oatmeal. So, oh, there's the chattering once again. It shows up really well on the bright blue when it's thin. Okay, and then one of the bowls from the video Making Your Pottery Better, and that's one of the chattering effects again. And there's the foot. That's a very nice foot, very clean. And it's all matte turquoise. And over the top of it, I think I just put the chun green and all that. So gave a slightly different effect, but didn't change it too much. Here's another one with that foot tool. It really works. And that chattering was a nice pattern. Rather than a texture, we created a pattern there. It's got, I guess, is apple green over blue green copper red there. And there's the candlesticks now, coming out from the video on candlesticks. That's actually a green I don't use very often. It's rutile green. So it comes out as sort of milky grayish green to where I got the apple green over the top is really nice, much shinier than the apple green normally goes. And there's 2 of those. They're all going as an order. And here's my classic, and it ran as usual. The Tenmoku Gold with the variegated blue and oatmeal always tends to run right where the handle is, and I dipped it so carefully this time so there's nothing on the handle, but it still did it. So I'll have to grind that one. And that's probably the same for all of them, I guess. Yep, another one right at the handle. It's just the amount of glaze and that tight cornering, I guess, just filters it down all the way to the actual bottom of the handle. It only takes a minute or less to grind it. But they're all the same, just a bit at the handle. But to get that really nice effect, you just have to do that. And that's even with that slightly faster cool. So this one's the nicest one. Oh yeah, it just still ran a little bit, but that one worked really nice with the stripes. Same with all of them, as I said. I like it so much, I keep doing it, but it doesn't, 30 seconds on the grinder and it's gone. Nice stripes. It's odd because the blue doesn't do it. And you've got variegated blue and oatmeal over the bright blue, which is the same as over the Tenmoku Gold. And on the Tenmoku Gold it runs, and on the bright blue it never does. You got the sort of dribbles all the way down around these. And it's a good job it doesn't do it on these because you've got the writing going around. So that's the Lehigh River Bookstore. Well, I always make a lot of mugs for as I've talked about in previous videos. Hook up with some bookstores or coffee shops that want to have mugs with their name on them. This is a blue I don't use very often. It's a sort of speckled blue. I'm not sure about it. It's actually okay. It's a sort of dark pastel blue. And I keep trying it and then don't get super motivated with it, so I put it away again. Oh, that one, the handle started cracking on this one. So, okay, that's one for me, I guess. There you go, firing these. I fire these on the stilt on top of a prop so you can lift them off, and that way you can glaze the whole of the rim. And these are little butter dishes. If I can lift up carefully, you can see the prop inside there. And then it just pulls right out. Tenmoku Gold, variegated blue and oatmeal. And it didn't run, but there's a hint of a little run just there, so it probably won't sit totally level with this one. So it's the fluting that makes it run a little bit, but down the back of the handle, where my thumb pulls the handles, it gathers the glaze there and makes it run. Maybe I should try some different handle making on these, that color. Okay, got the bronze glaze that I rarely use as well. Can only be used on non-food items. And that's copper bronze, I call it. It's in one of the books about cone 6 glazes. That one turned out very nice. I guess the thicker it goes, the more chance you get the kind of a bronze look, which is very metallic and shiny. It can go kind of grey if it's not too thick. We use that on some sculpture pieces mostly. Purple with variegated blue. Nice candlestick holder, that one. Same again. This one, the handle maybe pulled or straight. There's a slight disfiguring of the oval of the circle there, so I wonder if the handle pushed it out more, but it looks fine. So. Oh, another Tenmoku Gold run one. Well, that one's stuck a bit more. There we go. Still got a bit more grinding on that one. So that's 3, 6, 7. I must have done 8 of these. So I got 8 of these to grind. So that'll take me 8 minutes. And then we got some blue ones, which obviously I haven't run, they never do. Still got the runs going down, but it obviously runs a lot more. So it must be the Tenmoku Gold reaction with the other two glazes. Oh, that's interesting. This is where it goes close to the element. It goes that sort of turquoise green, and it's the same blue as over here. This glaze is quite nice because of that variation. It doesn't do that in the gas kiln, so this fires much better in the electric kiln. And here's another, blow the dust out, one of the bowls with the nice foot on them. Very clean looking foot. That tool works really well, Bill. Nice chattering there too from Bill's Chattering Tools. artisanpotterytools.com. And then I have a set of these bowls. So this is an order for a dinner set that they wanted this size bowl. They eat a lot of Chinese food. The chattering, not so great on that one, but on this one, the chattering worked really good. Differs by piece. Worked really well on that one too. And really well on that one. So one out of them, the chattering doesn't show as much. Isn't that interesting? All the same glaze. And here's one that wasn't. Oh wow, really nice. That one, look at the foot. It is so nice looking foot. And the last level down, and this is apple green with the purple over the top, which actually looks very nice. I like the way that looks. Good contrast. I would never have thought that, but this purple glaze is a nice complementary glaze on top of other glazes. It sort of makes it more subtle. Oh look, there's some running for the handle just like it did, but obviously it didn't reach all the way down. But that's the channel, it's kind of directing the glaze down the back of the handle. Oh, this was a glaze color I don't do very often. This is my black licorice out of Cone 6 Glazes with my oatmeal over the top. And I call it lizard scales sometimes. If it's underfired, it really does look like lizard scales. That's really nice. That's an order. Somebody wanted one of those. So I made them two sizes. And there's the small one. So that lady's going to be very happy because it's a Christmas present for her son. And here, wow, very nice. The apple green with the purple over it. Oh, wow. Oh, a bit of oatmeal probably on the top too. But I'll give you a close-up of that. I will be doing this again. And it is consistent. Very nice. Got to remember it does run quite a bit then. But obviously not as bad as the Tenmoku Gold. And one more bright blue. Really nice. Back to the good blue. The blue is always a little bit more subtle in the summer. Here's the bowl I really hope is good, because it's a more decorative bowl rather than functional. Oh, it's sweet. And there's the feet with that tool again. Oh, actually, no, that's my regular foot. That's just the way I do it normally. And all that, just trimming, just leaving a flat foot basically. But the chattering shows up really well through this glaze as a texture more than a pattern. And it's the chun green with variegated blue and oatmeal over the top. Wow, that's a nice bowl. Here's another one. Actually, maybe that's not the chun green. It's chun green with variegated blue and maybe the apple over the top. And this one is the chun green with texturing. And it looks like variegated blue and oatmeal over the top. And that's got the foot from the tool. Very nice foot. Chun green again. There's that foot. Oh boy, this foot tool is excellent. Nice texture too. I love that creamy oatmeal on the inside of things. I put less speckles in it this batch that I just made, and it's a good thing. Oh wow. Gosh, that purple is a complement color. It's really good. So this is oatmeal, apple green on the top, which was going down, and then basically the purple over the top of the actual oatmeal and apple green, I guess. Yeah, so I must have dipped oatmeal, poured it in, dipped the oatmeal down like that, and then I did a little touch of apple green on the top rim, and then dipped the bottom in the purple, and that's what we get. Really nice. Look at the yellow coming in, totally unexpected. All right, that's just the raw clay with a thin layer of glaze, I guess. Oh, blue inside with oatmeal dipped on the edge. Look at that. Boy, this is a nice batch of balls, and that feet look, you know, just excellent feet. Good tools. Variegated blue, chun green, and oatmeal, and bright blue on the inside. Chun green, variegated blue and oatmeal again with that foot tool. Chun green on the inside. I glaze them fairly thick with the chun green too. This is the third electric firing, I guess, of the winter 6-month season. I use electric kilns. Turned out very nice. Kind of feeling a little down when I started doing electric again, but it heats the studio. And you get used to the colors in the gas kiln all through the summer, but this is kind of a, you know, nice way to start the winter season when you got some experimental bowls with textures and everything to actually do. And I've still got a whole bunch to glaze. I thought I would just mention something about this kiln unloading. I won't do the whole thing because it's literally almost the same pieces all the way down. It's a 48-piece dinner set, 12 plates, 12 small plates, 12 bowls, and 12 mugs, but I made spares, of course. And it's interesting because the lady did not want the oatmeal to go pink, because anything with tin in it, in a glaze, if you have something also in the kiln firing that has chrome in it, it will blemish or blush the tin glazes, which is generally white or opaque, with a sort of pinkish hue. It's called chrome tin pink. And I decided I wasn't going to take a risk with 48 pieces, so I basically just fired everything, you know, no chrome, nothing else in here. And we basically have the Icelandic pieces with the bright blue, variegated blue, mouse grey, oatmeal, and then a white glaze. And even the white glaze up on the top here, it's barely visible, but it has a sort of pinkish hue. And I bet that is from the stilts that I actually hold the mugs up in the bowls. May have a little glaze drip on some of the stilts or something that might have had a residue of chrome in it. So isn't that amazing? You still got a little bit, but it's so barely visible that I don't think that will really matter. So let's hope, but it's literally these all the way down. That's all the plates done. Now we get the bowls. So this is basically a small soup noodle bowl. Can double up as a salad bowl, and they wanted that shape bowl. And you can see I did the chattering on the underside to give a bit of texture there. But it's variegated blue on these, plus mouse grey and oatmeal. I didn't do any bright blue on there. She wanted mostly greys, but the variegated blue has a hint of blue in it, so I just add the plates, added a little bit at the bottom. But anyway, these look really nice, so I won't do all those. And then the mugs that are going to match are like the, that's a shame, my signature got wiped out a little bit. I had to write Icelandic on them too. But yeah, that's interesting. You got a little circle on there. I don't know where that's from. But those are the mugs. So there's a whole bunch of those. Did it do the same on this one? Yeah, it did on that one too. That's kind of sad, but I was wiping the bottoms off, and I guess the center part just had a little bit too much glaze left on, because I didn't want it to get thick, so you feel the stilt marks were heavy. So I just have to remember that. But I have a really dense sponge in a bowl of water, and I simply wipe them like that, and it wipes the glaze off, so I can then dip it after I've done the gray, and then I can dip it in the blue. But it looks like the actual left a bit in the center of the mugs. Won't matter, I guess. And finally, we have a regular kiln unloading. This is a refire. It had crawling just there, so I just added some oatmeal, but I think I made it worse because the oatmeal actually stands up too much. But it's shiny and it's glazed, so we'll see. Somebody might like it. This is part of an order, bright blue. So let's go through these quickly. This is actually a butter dish bottom, and I got these are the kiln fillers that I do just if I've got scraps of clay left over from slab building, making fish or frames, whatever. I make these little trays because they're almost instant, and they make great little hors d'oeuvre servers for, say, olives there, or throwing olive pits on there. And then there's another one there. And another one there. There you go. Apple green, variegated blue, and blue. I did on all these. Let's see. Oh. There's something I'm not quite sure of. Wonder what I did. Which one was that? Probably folk art white. Remember, I add a little bit of yellow ochre and ilmenite to my folk art white, so it makes a creamier glaze, and that's nice. It's got an orange, a real orange. Where it's thick, it goes creamy if you double dipped it, kind of thing. But and I've got some apple green, I think, and regular oatmeal on the top of that one. And that's a nice ball. And then there's another version of it here. This was supposed to be a noodle bowl, but I forgot to do the little things for the chopsticks. But very nice again. Yeah, so it's nice to have an orange in your palette. And then these are absolutely spectacular. Wow. That blue, look at how rich that is down there. Wow. I wonder what... it's basically the bright blue. And I dipped something over the top, but whereas it runs down, it made that really dark blue there. I wonder, well, maybe I dipped with dark blue and then bright blue over the top, but the chattering came out really nicely on there. Gonna have to think about that one for a minute. And another one. I bet I dipped dark blue and then bright blue over the top, because I have that dark blue, which I don't use very often, but I should be using it more because that's a really rich blue. And then I just did the chun green on the bottom of those, and it's really nice because it shows the chattering so nicely. This is from that, and it did run a little bit. Variegated blue is always the risky one with that, but I can grind that quite easily. And that's from that making your balls better video. I wonder, just in that one spot, so something happened just here. I bet I dipped it like this and just shaking the glaze off, that's where it all runs down and kind of builds up in that location, and made it a bit thicker, so I'll have to grind that one. And then I did a whole bunch of soup bowls for a lady who wants some smaller soup bowls, but that's very pretty. I think I mentioned it earlier about she wanted to fill the bowl up, basically. Well, the wind is picking up. We're supposed to get 50-mile-an-hour winds later on today and tonight. So that is very pretty. I did sets of 4, so very good. This is number 16 glaze, which is the same base as my bright blue, but with a little iron added as well as cobalt, so it makes the blue sort of a slate blue, which is quite nice for people who don't like bright color blues. And then the bright blue over the top, or variegated blue, I think, with some oatmeal. And there's some more of these greens. The stilts are a bit tougher to get off of this glaze. On the oatmeal, they just pop right off easy. You have to remember that about your glazes, which ones are really good for the bottoms of the pieces. But even these just pop right off. I didn't even need to do that because I'd wiped the foot, but I still stilted it. So apple green with chun green, I think, over the top. Or it could be the matte turquoise. I'm not sure which one over the top. And it does run, because I only did it to there, and it ran all the way to, almost all the way to the bottom. Lucky, lucky, lucky. And the same here. So imagine I dipped these in apple green, and then I dipped the matte turquoise or the chun green, I'm not sure which, just to there, and it ran the length of the pot basically. So that 15-minute soak that I do is probably a little long. Maybe I could reduce it to 10 minutes. And bright blue, variegated blue, and oatmeal. It's just my standard. And that's a nice glaze because it runs off the rim a little bit, gives you that dark edge. And then Tenmoku Gold, variegated blue, and oatmeal. Okay, another one of the chip and dips. This Tenmoku Gold is perfect in this firing. It's really got lots of gold flecks on there. And then the oatmeal and the variegated blue. And I do a little dribble of cranberry and another, usually a sort of a waxing brown or Tenmoku Gold slip trailing lines across it to give it a little variation. And I don't like those to come out really defined, so this one's more kind of really nice and perfect. And there's the bottom, of course. And here is that dark blue. So you can see it's really dark blue, and it really, on those other balls, it's not as dead as it could be because there's some texturing with this chattering, but I've always found this blue to be a little dead as a blue. But obviously with the bright blue over it, it made it much nicer. But this is still a really dark indigo type blue. And I've noticed that when I use that color, the variegated blue on the rim often dribbles down like that, which is kind of strange, but it's almost like it releases completely in the firing. Same again with this one, and this one. Cut that off. And the chattering was denting the pottery on the center because it must have been quite soft when I did it. But it gives it a nice kind of mottled look in the center. And then, oh my gosh, this one ran a lot too. It's apple green, I think, with variegated blue and oatmeal over the top. But look how far that ran down. Completely covered the texture chattering on the ball. Amazing. And then apple green over the faux pot white. And probably a touch of oatmeal just on the apple green too. So that's quite pretty. And another Tenmoku Gold. So this was very consistent in the firing. So I'm going to make sure I keep this profile in my profiles. When you do the ramp hold, basically when you enter a program, I give it a number, which is number 5 program for this, and I'm going to keep it because this looked really good. Very nice. Barely any real running. maybe one piece that I have to grind. And this one is the Folk Art White, and I think it had the apple green, but I'll just wait and see a look at the different one, because it could just be oatmeal over the top of that. There's two different styles. No, it's the apple green, but it must have been thin on that one. Reminds you to stir the glaze up before you dip. Folk Art White, apple green. Yeah, and it's not going creamy at all. I might add less yellow ochre, which is yellow iron oxide, to the Folk Art White next time I mix it, because it's getting. I like the orange, but I like the creaminess sometimes that it gives you, which I don't seem to be getting at the moment. There you go. This one is a lot heavier applied, and it started to run because it was applied a lot heavier just down here, but that's very pretty in the inside. All my glaze recipes, remember, are in my videos. I've posted them many times. There you go. And if you want one, you could always email me and I'll actually send you the photograph out of my glaze book. This one's another runner, but it didn't run over the bottom, but it ran way down, almost twice the distance that you glazed it on. So very lucky. Just so reducing a 15-minute soak to a 10-minute soak will reduce the risk of it going past that edge. Okay, here's something that you have to be really brave at. I just did it to the other two in here, and I'm doing it to this one. When you wax resist the lid, and it sits in there on the wax melts out, and then you're left with the clay touching the clay, and clay does have a little bit of flux in it. Remember, to lower the melting points, so it will mature at different temperatures, you know, cone 10, cone 6, cone 01, and cone 04, 06. You add fluxes to clays to actually make them melt, or actually vitrify, and so they can stick. So how do you get it off? You hit it with a hammer very gently until it releases. I know you are all sitting on the edge of your seats. I have broken pieces doing this, but it's just what you have to do. You can use alumina hydrate, which you coat on the actual rims before you actually do the firing, and that will help them not stick, because alumina hydrate doesn't melt until 1600 degrees centigrade. I've pretty much, you know, most of the time this works, but that's how you actually release your lids. And this is the dark color iron clay, that's just why it fluxes a bit to stick like that, but it's a strong clay, so that's why I know I can hit it with a hammer quite hard without it breaking. But these are bright blue, bright blue, tentacle gold, and oatmeal to give you this nice little casserole. These are the other two that I did it to, so they're released. I wanted to make sure that they did release, so I didn't embarrass myself. But anyway, oh, a nice drip there. Oh, that's pretty on the top. I should show you the tops of these. But I don't know. The people will probably take just one of these, I think, because it's to go with the dinner set that I just made. I think they wanted two actually, but so I made three. And there's the last piece. The stilt just came apart, and the pin came out. It dropped back in there somewhere. I hope I can find it. But apple green and over Folk Art White. And a little bit of oatmeal on the inside that ran down and made a nice creamy looking. So your soup will look nice sitting in with that creamy edge. Okay, well, enjoy, and thank you very much. I'm trying to figure out how to put a little subscribe button onto my videos, and so far I'm not having much luck with it working. So if anybody knows how to do that, I know how to do the watermark, but I don't know how to make it link to the to a subscribe thing. But anyway, thank you very much. Bye.